Well, thank y'all for tuning into my channel. I've got something extremely exciting today to share with you all. These are some products that I have been eyeballing and looking at for about 18 months now. And if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know, as well as I know, some of my most popular videos are dealing with dropped well pumps. When someone has a failure of a fitting, or they just simply lose their grip strength, they let go of the well pump and it falls to the bottom of the well. How do you fish it out? And every one of my videos, I've always fished out my well pumps with homemade fishing tools. Well, this company here makes multiple different styles of fishing tools. Their company name, I'll get that out right from the get-go, is RHR-Products. You can find them at www.rhrproducts.com, and this is where they're located and their phone number. Now, just for your reference, I'm not getting paid by them to endorse their product. I paid for these products out of my pocket. They were not given to me. So I'm not making a tutorial on, a product for a company. I'm making a tutorial on these products because they're absolutely awesome, and they're only going to be used in my line of work maybe a handful of times a year. Now, but there's some absolutely incredible engineering that's going on in these pieces, and I want to share it with you. And we're going to go over every possible topic that I can think of in my mind as far as different wellhead setups and as to why things break. We've got a pitless adapter here, and we've got a well seal here. We've got multiple different styles of pipe. We've got the black poly butylene pipe. We've got the white PVC pipe. And then right here, we've got some 1-inch galvanized pipe. These are the three different styles of drop pipe that you will see going down a well. Now first, let's go off and explain what each one of these is. So this right here is called the Quick Fish Wire Grab, and it includes the Harpoon. Now this Harpoon, in my opinion, is probably the most similar thing to the homemade fishing tool that I have all my success with. The second thing that they have here is a Quick Fish Pipe Grab tool. Now this is your Quick Fish Pipe Grab tool. Its design is to be put down in a well, suspended on a rope. Wherever the broken pipe is, this will go in, and these teeth here, you see how, see if I can get the camera to focus, those teeth are extremely, extremely sharp. I've already kind of got my finger bit inside of this and it wouldn't let go. Luckily it didn't tear any of my skin, but the teeth are extremely sharp on these things. So essentially how this works, you have the yellow and you have the red. Well, the red portion in the center, it slides. So I'll show you here. If you push on it, the teeth go away. If you let go, the teeth pop back out. So what you would do, you'd lower it down in the well. You would have the assistance of a camera. You have to have a camera to where you can go down in there, or you're fishing in the blind. Once you stick a camera down the well, something as simple as this, cheap little pipe inspection camera. Say you go down 150 foot, you find out exactly where the pump, the top of the broken pipe is. You'll mark it, you'll label it, you'll say, okay, I need to fish at 143 feet. So you can measure that off with your rope. And they sell rope, so this is the rope that they provide. Really, really heavy duty rope. I opted to buy the rope from them just because I felt like if I'm buying all of their products, I might as well just buy the rope from them, right? So that's what we ended up doing. But a quick demonstration on how this works. So we've got some PVC here. You'll go down, you'll put the tip in it, and it slides right in, just like so. And you cannot get that off. I bet you if I hooked that to like a pickup truck and put this in a vise, I would probably just rip out shavings of PVC. Now, when it gets to the surface, you simply press and push. It'll depress this spring just like that, and the pipe slides right on out. Really simple. Now, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and give you a better view. So the pipe's like this. You go down, you find it, you're bobbing. Because that's what we do. When we're fishing, we're constantly doing this number here because we have no control over where the fishing tool is down in the well. And then you're, oh no, I'm so close. And then, oh, we got into it. So you'll have visual aid with your camera, and then you simply drop the rope for about a foot, and it literally goes right in. Then when you pick up, you're putting pressure here on the red piece, and up comes your pump system. So you're good to go. Now, let's say you're doing all this by hand. You have no crane, you have no assistance. Let's say you don't even have a helper. Well, how are you going to physically pull up a 300-foot pump system in a 400-foot well with the rope? You're going to do that with your hands, right? Well, your hands are going to get tired. So what happens when you've got that rope wrapped around your hands and you've got a system that weighs 120 pounds and you've got to literally manhandle that up and pick it up by hand? Well, this rope is designed to go through this unit right here. This unit right here, I'll zoom in on it for you. This is called the casing cable holder. Very simple. Casing cable holder. So what this does, this device here, this is what it looks like, okay? This swings. This goes right on top of the casing like that. I've yet to use this, so this is just a demonstration. Me personally, I don't know when I'm going to have another stuck well pump. So I wanted to show you all these tools because I was just so excited about it. So this device here, this will open up. Let's see how we open it up. I think you press, or maybe it goes this way. Yep, it goes this way. It goes like that. Your rope is going to go through here as a guide. So it's got directional teeth on it. The teeth face upward. So as this goes down like so, you'll fish it. Once you catch it, you're good. You'll set the rope off to the side. You'll go ahead and take this device, set it on there. I had to oil this up. Once I oiled it up, it actually operated a whole lot easier. But then you'll lock your rope into it, and you'll sit here and you'll pull. And it's essentially kind of like, you know, a one-way situation. You can pull your rope up through it, and you can take a break, and the rope, this piece here, will clamp down around the rope, and you're good to go. And it's fully supported by the casing. Gives you a nice little groove channel here for your wire or your pipe to come up through. Let's see. Pipe will actually come up through it, so you're good there. So you'll actually get the whole system, tool, and everything. You can just grab this whole device and pick it up. I really like this tool. I didn't think that I actually needed it, but when I saw them at the water well convention at the Jubilee, I saw this on their table, and I said, you know what? It's not necessarily something I think I need, but if we're going to go with these quick fish products from RHR, I might as well have this clamp, because it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And when we deal with stuck well pumps and we catch it when we're fishing, you absolutely positively do not want to lose it. It took you so long to achieve the point of grabbing the pipe down in the ground. If this is something as simple as holding the rope for you with all that weight, you know, we're talking systems can weigh 250 pounds. Sometimes they weigh 60 pounds. You never know what you're about to grab onto. And this right here will help take your hands and give them time to rest between times when you pull. Now, I understand some people have crane trucks. I have a crane trailer. Now, not everybody's going to have that. And this product right here, both of these, I think can be used solely with a service truck and one guy, and the only thing you need besides these is a camera. I think a camera in this instance is definitely going to be something you're going to want. Now, why do systems break? Why are dropped well pumps a thing? How does that happen? Okay, and I'm sure there's more topics on this that I'm going to miss, because I do not have a planned skit when I do a video. I literally just riff off the top of my mind, and there's oftentimes things that I forget later on down the line, but we're going to try to cover as many topics as possible. So first off, we're going to cover a well seal. Since well seals are what we use in our area, this is the most common point of failure. Now, this is an ABS well seal, okay? I'm showing you a diagram of PVC drop pipe because PVC drop pipe is very strong, but it's also very brittle. It's kind of like glass in that instance, right? It will handle way more pressure, 450 psi, compared to the black poly pipes, 200 psi. So the white PVC drop pipe, when it goes down a well, you typically install that with a crane. And every 20 foot, you're either going to have a bell end where you've glued it together, or you're going to have a male to male pipe where they're both threaded with exterior threads, and you'll have a female by female threaded coupling in the center. Well, if you don't use a stainless steel coupling and you choose to use a plastic coupling or a plastic coupling with a stainless steel band on it, those can fail. And the minute you have a PVC threaded coupling fail, everything below that will fall. And if you don't have the wires secured coming out of the top of the well seal, the wires will rip the wire nuts loose, whatever connection they're on, they'll rip it through, and all of the material, the wires, the rope, whatever that's up here, it will pull through the well seal and shoot on down the well to the bottom of the hole. That's just how it happens. Sometimes they'll have the rope looped around the pipe or something, or, you know, they'll have it tied off to something, or some people will replace the bolt here with an eyelet bolt, and they'll put an eyelet down here, and just the stem of the bolt will come through, and you'll never even know that there's an eye bolt down here, and they'll tie the rope to that. That to me is a pretty cool trick, but I never do that because we don't use rope. Or if your PVC drop pipe breaks at the coupling, then you're going to go fishing for that broken, you know, portion down there, wherever that is. A lot of times it's going to break at the first joint, because the first threaded joint sees the most amount of weight, if that makes any sense. Everything below that takes, you know, that portion of the system's weight out of the equation. So the very first connection closest to the top is what sees the most amount of weight. Now, that being said, when you get to the top of a well seal with PVC, you're going to basically penetrate the top of the seal just like this. You're going to have a 90, and you're going to have it glued on, or you're going to have a T or something like that, or you'll have a threaded end coming out and you'll thread in a T or an elbow or something like that. Well, where does it break? It always breaks right here. Well, once this fitting breaks, okay, and there's nothing for the well seal to rest onto, this PVC pipe is going to slip down through the well seal and fall to the bottom of the hole, and all you're going to be left with is this. So that's just some of the things you deal with when you deal with PVC. As it gets old, it can get brittle, it can break, and then you're just left with a broken, jagged edge, and you have to send this tool down to get it. Now, another thing you could also send down to is you could send this down and get it. Now, this is what I call like an exterior grab, where this is an interior grab, this is an exterior grab. This is what they use for wire. But you could also theoretically, in my mind, you could use this for the pipe. Now, how this works, it's like a clamshell type deal. Like I said, there's so much engineering that went on in these. It's fascinating. And I love quality engineering. So let's go ahead and turn some light on. So we've got this. This is the quick fish grab tool. So you're going to be supported up here by your rope. And we're going to go down. When that hits that blue lock, that thing's going to grab onto it like so. We'll see, it kind of slipped off, but I'm trying to do it for the fact of the camera here. So we're just we'll line that up. That's a pretty good shot right there. There we go. And then we're going to hit it. And you got it, right? So this tool here, while it does seem to bite onto pipe, it's not designed for pipe. I think this would be better off if you were to come over here and you had some galvanized pipe. You go down in it like so, and now you're locked into it. Now I got to get that out of there. I'm always worried about shoving in something, not being able to get it out. But, you know, that's what they did. Now, let's go here. This is what this is used for. So this is a wire grab tool. And if you've watched any of my videos on fishing out well pumps, I never shoot for the pipe. I always shoot for the wire, because the wire is strong enough to pull up almost any system. So we're going to go ahead and set their casing handler there. I've taken the liberty of taking a little 2-foot piece here just for demonstration. We're going to go ahead, kind of suspend this. This is going to go down. That blue piece is held open. You're just going to go down and lock onto it. I kind of let go of it. But then we're going to grab it with our rope. We're going to pull it back up. And we're going to see what it looks like. Because this is typically what you get. you typically get a wad of wire when you go down and you look at it with your camera. And now, here we have it. We've grabbed it, and it's not coming off. There's no way that that wire is going to be pulled through there. And if one does slip, I don't even think I can artificially make this slip. No, there's no way I can even artificially pull the shit out of it and make it slip. It's just that good. They have cut the teeth on these things dangerously sharp. Dangerously sharp. And you can see right there how it grabbed onto that wire. Absolutely fascinating tools. Now, I've shown you what both of these products are and what they do, right? So let's go ahead. We're going to zoom out here. We're going to talk about pitless adapters. So pitless adapters, which a lot of y'all have pitless adapters because you live in colder climates. So you have to have a water line penetrating the casing below grade, whether it's 24 inches, 36, 48, or 60 inches deep. Sometimes, over say 40 years, this brass here can fail. It can either fail here, or the casing itself can fail. But most of the time, what I've seen, the pitless itself does not fail, okay? What I recommend when someone uses a pitless adapter is either this unit here, made by Simmons, either in brass or stainless. And that's why I only sell stainless fittings on my website. This goes in there, and this will last probably 50 years. It'll last the lifetime of most people. And the pump itself is only going to last 15 to 20 years, so you're going to be pulling it out anyways and replacing any of the old fittings. Now, what I often see when I run into a dropped well pump that was on a pitless is either two things. They used galvanized or they used plastic, okay? So what they'll do, or they use the plastic bushing. So it's oftentimes I'll see a plastic bushing like this and a metal fitting in that bushing, and then that bushing is inside of the pitless. Well, guess what it does? It rips the threads either out of the bushing or out of the inside of the bushing, and then everything falls. And then the only thing holding on the pitless adapter and stuff would be wire nuts. And most of the time, wire nuts are not going to support the weight of an entire system. I've seen it before. But it's very dangerous to go down there and stick your hand when all you know is 3 wire nuts are holding the weight of a system. But a lot of times when you take something like this, like we'll put plastic on there for instance. This is threaded in there, and every time a pump kicks on, a typical 4-inch pump, it jerks and moves around a little bit. Well, that on-off cycle, it puts all that stress right around here, right around this base. And it also puts it around the base of the threads. And more times than not, when it breaks right here at the base. It'll crack about 30% of the way. Water's going to be spraying out. And because water's spraying out, now that makes the pump cycle all the time. On and off, on and off, on and off. And you don't realize you have a water leak until you get an electric bill. And your electric bill is 40% higher than it usually is. Then you start noticing your cold water is actually warmer because your pump's running 24/7 nonstop, warming up your well water. All these things will start popping questions in your head, not knowing what's going on. Well, there may be a fitting down in the well or at your pitless that's cracked. Well, you give that enough time, about 2 to 3 weeks after a fitting like this will crack. Eventually, it's going to crack all the way. It's going to fall. You're not going to have any water, and the whole system is falling to the bottom of the well. Well, now you have to fish this out. It'll be this connected to this pipe like that. The threads, a portion of the threads will still be in the pitless. I'll go down, hook onto the pitless, I'll pull it up, and I'll realize everything else is gone. And I'll either see a little bit of galvanized left in it, and the bottom portion of the galvanized will have rotted through from the inside out. And you're going to have to go down, use this tool. Okay, now I don't think you can use this fitting because this fitting is the wrong size. I was just kind of using that as a reference because this is literally the only galvanized fitting I have in my inventory. But this right here is the diameter of 1 inch, and this is the diameter of 3/4 inch. So this specific tool here is made specifically for 1 inch. Nobody uses 3/4 inch drop pipe. I was just using this galvanized fitting as a reference. But this over here is galvanized drop pipe. And what I use this for, this is my Pitless T-bar. So if you see right here, I've got a T-handle right there. That's to prevent me from dropping it down the well. And this end here is what actually goes down in the well. And I would thread this onto this like so. And we have a pump system on it. And then here we go. We go to lower it down in the well. And then this is what I have this bar for, okay? So this is a proper pitless bar. You've got an 8-inch stem here, 8-inch stem here. You've got your T, and you got 5 foot of galvanized pipe. All you need to grab a hold to your pitless adapter down inside your casing. Then when you pull it up, you realize, oh crap, the fitting's broken and the pump's gone. So when that happens, first thing you do is you get your camera, send it down the well, figure out where the pipe stops, start making notes. Then you got to go get your fishing tools. So now that we've got our fishing tools, we're going to connect this to our rope, go down there, leave the camera down there, start fishing for it. And with something like this, I'm really excited to try it in the field, because there's no doubt in my mind that it'll work. There's been other guys on our water well forum on Facebook that have used this product, and I've seen it time and time again where they send it down the well and sure enough, they grab it and they get it out. So this is a really good tool, really expensive, a lot of engineering going on in here, but I think it's worth the money. That's what I said at the beginning. I was not sent these products for free. I'm reviewing these products to showcase them to other people all across the world, to let you know that there are tools that are made for fishing out well pumps. And exterior wire grabs, interior pipe grabs. Now when you buy this, you also get this. This is their like little Harpoon. I think you could send this down just on a generic rope, try to snag the wire. This in and of itself will be something I'm going to try first. Before I send either of these down, I'm going to see if something simple as this will actually grab the wire. Because we always have a nest of wire like this, and I don't see why this wouldn't go down just like that and grab the wire. Because all that weight, once it grabs onto it, it's not going to let go. See that? This is very similar, in my opinion, to my tool. But I love it. Absolutely love it. So I think you've pretty much got an understanding. I know I talk fast, and if you can't picture what I'm saying in your mind on certain things, I'm sorry. But these tools needed to be shown to everyone. Like every time I do a dropped well pump video, I'm getting 500,000 views. And the last video I did has done almost 750,000. That was at 600 footer. That was an hour-long video. And about a week later, I got to meet the owners of this business. And they actually saw that video and wished that their products were showcased in that video. I also do too. I wish I had their products during that video. But needless to say, their products in that video wouldn't have helped that situation, because that well had actually collapsed. So I know there's probably a lot of people wanting to know about that job. Nothing has come of that. The homeowners are still kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm not sure if they bought that house as is, and which I assume they did. But I did speak with their homeowners insurance and explain to them everything, in full detail, 100% truth. And actually sent him a link to that video to express what I thought, went on there. But yeah, so we've got some tools for fishing. I'm excited to use these here in the future. I can't say near future, because I don't know when I'm going to have another job that requires a dropped, tools for fishing out a dropped well pump. Now, another thing to talk about. This is a 1-inch drop barb, right? They make 1 inch, 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch, and 2 inch. They also make a whole host of other products for well drillers. So if you're a well driller and want to check out their website, check out RHR-Products.com. I do know that they make this tool here in a really long version that's all of them in one. I would say it's probably 4 times this length, but it slowly steps up. So it'll be this much in 1 inch, and then from here it'll be 1.25 inches, and then from there it'll be 1.5 inches, and then 2 inch. So it's really like a 2.5 foot long tool, but it works on every size pipe. I didn't necessarily need that. I just wanted to try the 1 inch one out first, because this is something I can leave in my service truck. I don't always ride around with a camera, but it doesn't take up much space, you know. But yeah, so really cool, really excited to have these products, really excited to showcase them for you. Now, I'm also going to leave a link to their website. I get no kickbacks, I get nothing. I'm just doing that for you as the viewer. If you have a dropped well pump, or you are an installer and you like these tools, by all means check them out. I wish more things like this were made in the industry, because there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of engineering going on with this, and the purpose of this tool and the functionality of this tool is top shelf, absolutely top shelf. But enough of that. The video is 30 minutes long. Figure I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. And I wanted to say thank y'all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank y'all for growing my channel to something far more than I ever thought it was possible of becoming. So yeah, with all that's going on in the world today, just want to say thank y'all for being here. So I'm gonna go ahead, end it here, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.